Hello guys, if you watched my last video, then you more than likely know what I'm here to talk about, and it's the Sonic Frontiers theory. I am really excited to make this video and show it to you guys because I have a lot of compelling evidence I bring to the table about this theory, and by the end of it, not only will you believe me, but maybe you'll be questioning whether or not these events will actually happen in the game. But although I do bring a lot of compelling evidence to the table, please take what I say with a grain of salt because I am basically pulling strings but also taking real bits of evidence and compiling them into the most reasonable way possible. So to start with what we know about the events of Sonic Frontiers so far is that it takes place on the Starfall Islands where Sonic must collect all of the Chaos Emeralds and save his friends. But in the leaks of the game, we know that of an ancient civilization that used their technology to create fake Chaos Emeralds. Although we have seen fake Chaos Emeralds in the Sonic series before, what makes this situation special is that the Chaos Emeralds in the leaks are described to be holographic copies. So get ready, because this is where the fun part of the theory begins. So if you start to investigate the creation of Infinite and Sonic forces, you'll understand that the gem inside of his chest is called the Phantom Ruby. And the whole idea of the Phantom Ruby is that it's meant to be a antithesis to the Chaos Emeralds, meant to be its opposite, where instead of reacting to the user's heart, the Phantom Ruby will react to the user's will and their desires. And although the Phantom Ruby's abilities are important, it's not just what it does, but the way how it looks, the way how it's designed. It's red, it feels dreadful, it has a glitchy pattern all over it, and whenever it creates also comes with a glitchy pattern, which the way how it is described seems to fit a similar description of how these holographic Chaos Emeralds seem to appear. That's right, you already know where this is going. So my theory is that these fake Chaos Emeralds that are supposed to be holograms that we were hearing about in the leaks are actually the Phantom Ruby that we see in Sonic Forces. Now let me introduce my evidence before you start typing in the comments that this isn't real. Because if you guys hear me out, you'll see that my evidence is pretty compelling and you might be questioning if this is an actual event that's going to happen in the game. But first things first, we need to establish a connection between the Phantom Ruby and what we've seen in the events of Sonic Frontiers so far. And I think we should start this connection off with the machines, of course. So when you battle these machines, when they die, they release a red pixely hued color mixed with black, which is the same pattern as the Phantom Ruby. But they don't just release this color when they die, they just fade away into this color as they die, similar to all of Infinite Illusions where they just fade into pixels or they just fade into just abstract, glitchy patterns. So with the evidence I've stated so far, I think we can pretty firmly agree that Infinite, these robots, and the fake Chaos Emeralds are linked together. But there's one more piece of evidence I would like to bring to the table that I think will put the nail in the coffin into this theory and more than likely confirm Infinite's appearance or the Phantom Ruby's sort of effect, at least in this game. And it all has to deal with the cyberspace levels. Now, if you heard any leaks about cyberspace levels, you more than likely know that they are digital recreations of levels through Sonic's past that have been created in order for him to regain his memory. A digital recreation of a level that we see Sonic run through. Where have we seen that before? Oh yeah, null space at the end of Sonic Forces. So if you play till the end of the game Sonic Forces, then you know that Infinite eventually sends you into this place called null space. And it is literally just a separate space that is quite literally nothing. And if you remember it, it's actually the same place where you get sent towards the actual final boss. And in Sonic Frontiers, these levels are described as digital spaces. And if these levels are digital spaces, then they more than likely have some sort of connection to null space. But why, you might ask? Well, I'm glad you did, because my other theory is that null space is some sort of non-formed cyberspace. And if you look at the description of the cyberspace levels, they are described to be these digital areas that are meant to restore Sonic's memory. Alright, so now that we established that the Phantom Ruby, the fake Chaos Emeralds, these new digital robots, and cyber and null space are connected, we need to figure out how Infinite got here in the first place, or if it's just the Phantom Ruby itself that's controlling all of this. So, when Infinite was sent back, he was not sent back to Dr. Eggman, but he was sent back to the original source of the Phantom Ruby, where it was created, the Starfall Islands. And now this villain has learned from his defeat and uses the Phantom Ruby more effectively, or serves as the power source for the robots that we see in the trailers, being controlled by Dr. Eggman, or someone else. But on the other hand, in scenario 2, Infinite was sent back to Eggman's tower, and then Infinite and Eggman together went to the Starfall Islands in order for Eggman to find a new power in order to defeat Sonic. And so, in finding this power, he realizes that Infinite is the key to unlocking it due to the Phantom Ruby in his chest. And you can quote me if I'm wrong, but in Forces, Sonic destroyed all the Phantom Ruby copies and destroyed the final boss, which had one of the last Phantom Rubies, but the only one that Sonic didn't destroy was the one that was lodged in Infinite's chest. And after Sonic defeated him, Infinite didn't necessarily lose the Phantom Ruby. You could still see that it was in his chest after he faded away back to the tower. So these are the two likely scenarios that are going to happen in Sonic Frontiers if my theory does turn out to be correct. But if not, it could be neither. But anyway, I cannot wait to find out when Sonic Frontiers does release. By the way, thank you for 51 views on my Sonic Frontiers gameplay video. If you haven't seen my latest one, you should probably check that out. I think I went over my points a little bit better. Also, I think I have an explanation why Sega used their bad gameplay first. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I do think I went over my points a little bit better. But anyway, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, do whatever. Also, send me comments on what I should probably do next. I have watched the rest of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ms. Marvel if you guys want me to talk about it.